Thank you all for joining for this call. I'm so grateful that you're giving up some time on a beautiful sunny afternoon in Nova Scotia. And first off, I want to introduce you. A few of you know each other, but also for our audience, we have Dr. Heidi Sapp with us, who has worn many hats at Sacred Heart School of Halifax and is a past parent as well as a current parent of a grade 12 student. We have with us Ishan Mukhida, our alum from the class of 23, and Myla Murphy, who is a current student and actually volunteering with us a bit this summer. Thank you, Myla, and heading into grade 12 with Heidi's daughter. So again, I'm really grateful that you've taken time. We feel that your insights and what you can share about your various experiences at Sacred Heart School will be really beneficial to other families looking and trying to find out more about our school. And so again, thank you very much. Without further ado, I think I'll go ahead and start peppering you all with questions, if I may. And Ishan, if it's all right, I'm going to start with you. Our alumni are very important to our school, and one of the first questions I want to ask you is, if you were to introduce our school to someone, what's the first thing that you'd tell them about the school?
The first thing that I would tell someone new about the school is that it's a very inviting atmosphere. I started at Sacred Heart when I was very little, 5 years old, senior primary, and I didn't know anybody, and all the teachers were very, very inviting and very. You got to get to know all the teachers very well, especially. I find that very important in the high school years, where me and my friends would often just have conversations with our teachers um, in our free time because we got to know them so well. And so, because of that, I think that helped me become who I am now today in second year university, and as well in other aspects of my life.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ishan. I'm going to move to you, Myla, and similarly ask you, if you were to describe school life, what's the first thing you'd tell them about our school?
I think I would talk about the strong and supportive community. It's really just where everyone encourages, like, lifts each other up. The academics are rigorous, but there's also so much support and like a real focus on helping each student grow. I find, like, both inside and outside of the classroom. And since there's such a wide variety of clubs and sports, it's something I really appreciate because there's the space to create your own opportunities as well. Like, I started the school newspaper and I found that the faculty was so open to the idea and helped guide me through the process, which really shows like how our school truly encourages student initiative and leadership. And overall, I just think that it's a place that values community growth and creativity, and like it's really made my time here both meaningful and rewarding.
Wonderful. And we love your new newspaper. We love it. We love it. Dr. Sapp, or Heidi, if I may,
Yes.
what about you? What's the first thing you would tell people about our school?
I think I would emphasize how much the teachers care about the students. And it's not just the year that the teachers have your child, it's throughout the whole time that they're at the school and beyond. So I have three sons that graduated between 7 and 11 years ago, but because I still have a daughter at the school, I often see the teachers. I've built really friendly, um, lovely relationships with many of the teachers. They often will come up to me and say, "Oh, how are your sons doing? What are they doing?" They're very interested, genuinely caring about the kids. One of my boys is on an annual relay race team that participates through Sacred Heart, the Sacred Heart team. It's organized by a Sacred Heart teacher, and it's a number of teachers and former students, and they drive together to Cape Breton, they run together, they eat together, and it's just a wonderful bonding relationship. That so although you're at the school for a relatively short time in your lives, you're part of this community forever.
Yeah, that's great. Wonderful. Thank you. Ishan, you were at Sacred Heart for a long time. I think you had one gap when your family moved for a bit, but then we're back, thankfully. We were so happy to have you back. Can you think of one highlight of your school experience, or, narrowing it down to one is difficult, but is there one or two things that stands out to you as a highlight in all of those years?
Probably I would say the grade 12 year was a great way to end off my Sacred Heart experience. That was the year that, I felt that connection with my teachers. There was a lot of grade 12s that year, had a lot of responsibility in organizing various events. I was one of the house captains that year, and so I had a lot of fun organizing, winter carnival events and conge events and Oktoberfest events. And so yeah, I would say my grade 12 year was great.
Wonderful. Which house, Ishan?
Duchenne.
Okay, very good. All right. People would want to know. People would want to know. Myla, what has so far been the best part of your experience at Sacred Heart?
Yeah, one of the best parts of my experience has been how well Sacred Heart has prepared me, not just academically, but personally. I think the combination of like the academics and the meaningful opportunities has really helped me feel ready for university and beyond. I've also been at Sacred Heart my whole life, and I truly believe like the school's core values and faith-based foundation has shaped who I am today. They've just instilled in me like integrity and confidence. And so one experience that really stood out to me is the required university prep class that we take in grade 10. It just really opened my eyes to everything I needed to be doing to grow and build a strong college application. And it made the future feel less overwhelming because I had the tools and support to take it seriously earlier on. And another example is how I was taking a pre-college course through Cornell this summer, and I did really well. I think that the Sacred Heart academics, like the rigor, really prepared me for the fast pace, is another example of that.
Isn't that great? Oh, that's terrific to hear.
Yeah.
Heidi, you've probably had a few highlights.
So many, yes.
Can you narrow it down for us?
So I was going to just talk a little bit about the prom and the graduation. So the prom is a very special. It's not just a dance for the graduates. It's really a family celebration. And so the experience that I had is that either the school or a family of a graduate has a reception, and it's not just for the grads, it's their dates, their parents, grandparents, and all gather, and it's just lovely. And then there's the pictures, and then there's a dinner, and we all sit together as families, celebrating the success of our children. I know for all three of my boys, it was parents, two sets of grandparents, so we filled several tables. And there's great talks, like speeches, and then usually the first dance is the graduate with their parent, and then the parents all finally leave. But it's just yeah, it's true. Sometimes then the parents go and have a little celebration party too. And then I just wanted to mention how special and intimate the graduation is. I've been to both graduations for my sons, and I have been to graduations with girls as well. I'm looking forward to a combined graduation with the boys and the girls this year for the first time. But for where each graduate goes up onto the stage and the principal speaks about them and it's very personal, it's intimate, it's it's sometimes a bit funny, but clearly the principal and the teachers know the students so well, and yeah, it's so special and very memorable that the principal and the teachers, they really get our children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an emotional time and wonderful,
Yeah,
fulfilling.
yeah.
Ishan, in your experience at Sacred Heart, how did the school combine educational rigor with play and exploration? You mentioned a few things, Oktoberfest and Congé and so on. But tell us a little bit more about your experience of that combination and how that was balanced for you.
For me, I thought that the school did a great job at balancing academics and then fun events like Congé and Winter Carnival. I mean, from grade 7, we did exams, in the gym, and so I mean, I know for me, I got used to uh, writing and like having lots of work to do from a young age, and so I feel like that really prepared me and a lot of my peers for the workload of grade 11 and 12 and figuring out, okay, where are we going to go for what's happening with university? And there was a lot of support from teachers and lots of help from principals and lots of extra help sessions, and a lot of my teachers were very more than willing to stay after hours and make sure that we're all on the right track, taking time out of their day, even working on holidays. There were a couple times where I had a couple meetings with teachers on holidays, and so the school rewards the hard work with uh, fun events.
Good balance. Wonderful. I wonder, just for our audience, Congé, we've referenced it, you've referenced it twice, and it's very it's only a Sacred Heart experience, really, Congé, which is a surprise day of play. Is that how you would describe it, Ishan or Myla? Is that Myla, would there be a different way you would describe it?
Yeah, it's just really special to our school. It's just something to look forward to and makes us stand out. It's just another thing that builds to that community feel. We just all get together and really builds on the like school spirit and community together.
It's a fun day for certain. Myla, from what you've learned and done at the school so far, what are you most proud of? You're not done yet, but what are you most proud of?
I think what I'm most proud of is how much I've grown as a student and as a person. Like I said before, Sacred Heart has really just helped me become who I am. I've learned to take initiative and grow as a leader. And an example would be, like I said, starting the newspaper. It was just something that I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, and the support I received from both the faculty and my peers was really great. And again, it just showed me how open the school is to student-led projects and how much they value our voices. And it's something I'll always look back on with pride, not just for what I created, but for what it taught me about leadership and community.
Wonderful. And I also appreciate you taking the initiative to raise your hand and say, how could I help and volunteer this summer? So I'm grateful for that. Heidi, back to you. What about from your perspective of that balance of educational rigor and discipline that's required, and how do you think the school balanced that with play and exploration, creativity, and so on?
I do think the academics are very strong. Um, I also think that the school really does look at the whole child. And there's really only a minority of the students that are going to have the top marks. There's just so much more for people besides having the top marks. And although that is important to have high marks and work hard to try to get scholarships for university. There's just so much more that the school focuses on. My husband and I were talking a little bit about this before the interview, and one thing that we've noticed is the public speaking skills that start really early on. For instance, in the elementary school, before any assembly where students may need to speak, they practice. They come up and they are taught to speak at the right speed, the right volume. They make sure that the microphone is at the right place, because normally the person speaking before them is usually probably much taller. And I love seeing these little kids just bring their microphone right down into position. And those are important skills for everybody throughout their lives. And another really important skill that they teach the students is volunteering. And again, from an early age, the students learned to volunteer right up into grade 12 with part of the religion course that the kids are usually put into pairs and sent out to different places to volunteer. And I think that it really stretches the students. They're often put in slightly uncomfortable situations with people that they might not normally, be hanging out with and helping. And that is so much easier to learn as a child than when you're an adult. And so really, I feel like the school teaches our children to volunteer and to be contributors to society once they leave school. Some of the other things I have down here, let's see. Well, I like some of the other opportunities that Myla and Ishan were talking about. There's opportunities to develop skills and also improve skills that you already have, like the band program, the musical. The elementary musical is amazing, as is the high school musical, and the plays and the athletics. There's team sports and individual sports. And then there's like the local ski trips where the high school students go on the buses to Wentworth in the winter and either ski because they know how to ski or learn how to ski. There's the high school Europe trip every 2 years to be able to travel to Europe with friends rather than, well, maybe your first time or maybe you've only traveled with your family, but to travel with friends and learn independence, having time alone or like with other friends. And also I was going to mention the opportunity with the exchange program, with the network of schools around the world with Sacred Heart. And so really every student at Sacred Heart gets to have interactions with exchange students. They may go on exchange, or if they don't go on exchange, they will meet people that come to their classes and do exchange. And so it's a way of seeing another part of the world.
Wonderful. Thank you. And thanks for giving this good thought. Good thought. Back to Ishan. And I don't know if you've had a chance to think about this. What trade-offs do you think reflect the school's mission? Maybe selectively prioritizing some things at the expense of others. Can you speak to that for us, please?
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely, I think the religion class, I thought was very interesting, especially in grade 12, that Dr. Sapp talked about with the volunteering at different places. That I really benefit from that, and I know a lot of my peers in my graduating class benefited from that because it was something other than school that was also very educational and that I took a lot from. In my religion classes, it was not so much learning more about Christianity. It was exploring other religions and doing projects on other religions, and so I thought that was very beneficial for me. Although a lot of people could see that as a trade-off for other classes, but I know a lot of my peers thoroughly enjoyed that aspect.
Wonderful. Thank you. Myla, you're heading into grade 12. That's a big year. We've already, you've heard about it now from a past parent and an alum perspective. You're thinking ahead to the future. How do you think our school is preparing you for the future?
Yeah. I mean, Sacred Heart has definitely prepared me for the future in so many ways. An example is the advanced and AP classes, along with just the overall academic rigor. It's really challenged me to manage my time and stay organized. And I feel much more confident heading into university because I've already experienced a demanding workload and I feel like I know how to handle it. And one thing that made a big difference was how early we started building those skills. Exams, for example, begin in grade 7. So by now I have strong study habits and test prep strategies that I know will carry into university. Overall, the school has just given me both the academic foundation and personal discipline to step into the next chapter of my life.
Wonderful. You're gonna have a great year. Heidi, I'm gonna go back to you and ask you the question similar to I asked Ishan regarding the trade-off of do you think reflect the school's mission? Is there a trade-off and selecting some things at the expense of others? And can you speak to that, your experience?
I found this was the hardest question. Um, so because it is a relatively small school, there aren't as many choices, I think, for subjects. So that could be a bit of a trade-off. Um, I think that a lot of people would wonder about the religion aspect, and so there are times during the year where the elementary school, the high school, or the whole school will have masses on site or take time to walk to a local church like the Basilica and have a mass together. I think it's also important that people realize that you don't have to be Roman Catholic to feel welcome during those times. You don't have to be Christian either. It's very welcoming and accepting for all faiths. People do have to be comfortable with that there is going to be a mass and the students are, need to participate. But it is a very welcoming and nurturing environment. And I was just kind of thinking some other trade-offs, because it's a smaller school, we can't offer things like, I'm not sure what it's called now, but in my day it was industrial arts and home economics.
Right.
Yeah, I suspect it's called something else now, but it's so some of those skills, although they are not in specific subjects throughout the school year, there are lots of clubs where you can still learn some of those skills. I know, like for different crafts and sewing, there are lots of after school opportunities to learn that. And then if anyone is interested, either a student or a parent or teacher, they can offer different kind of skills that aren't offered as a full subject.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, we're fortunate to have all those clubs. I don't know, Ishan, did you ever do a cooking club?
I think so. When I was
Yeah.
when I was very young, like in elementary school, there's a cooking club.
Right. Okay. Ishan, in what ways do you think your education at Sacred Heart was individualized and tailored to your specific needs and talents?
I mean, I think overall, my experience at Sacred Heart, I felt very, very, um, I felt at home, honestly, because the way I would be able to interact with my teachers was was unlike anything I'd experienced. I went away for a year to Ontario, to school in Ontario. And when I came back, I knew I was okay. I'm back at Sacred Heart. This is where I want to continue. Um, my schooling. But the teachers, they just, as you grow with them, they just know you so well, and are always giving helpful, giving great advice. And I often see them around campus sometimes, and I'll have great conversation with them, and they often will give me advice about certain things. And so I think that overall, Sacred Heart did a great job in making students feel like they matter and that they belong, and that the teachers do care.
Wonderful. That's terrific. Heidi, communications. How do you find the school's communication with parents? May we add in here that you are a past president of our Parents Guild as well as a busy professional and mother. But perhaps you could tell us about your thoughts and experience with our school's communications.
Sure. Well, I think it's excellent. I think it's really difficult to balance communication frequencies. So you're never going to make everybody happy about how often you send emails, but the school is very thoughtful about trying to reduce the number of emails to parents, and it's very coordinated, it's very deliberate, it's regular. And so, there are regular emails that come out from the high school principal and the elementary school principal, and what day it's going to come out. I think it's every 2 weeks for the high school, and the way they're written very concisely. You get the information you need, and if there's more information that some people need, it's not all in that email. There are links, and you can go to the link. So if you want to read it, you can, or that link, or you can skip down to something that you need to know. And yes, and as being part of the Parents Guild executive, I worked really closely with the administration about communications, and I had so much support from you, Miriam, and Renee, and other people, so that we kind of had kept on the same type of messaging, and it's just really helpful that the school is very conscious of sending information out, like making sure that you're not sending something out that would be insensitive to another faith or holiday, that it's not going to be at the same time. Yeah, there's a lot of thought that goes into the communication.
Good. I'm glad you can tell that. Great. Heidi, you're wearing two hats, but that of a current parent and a past parent. You have 3 alum already, and our question is, what benefits have you observed from your child being in the school? That's your daughter going into grade 12. And I say, what future benefits do you anticipate, or have you seen? What future benefits have you seen in your sons who are graduates?
So many. I really think that the school helps our children to be kinder and more compassionate people. Sure, you want them to do well academically, but there's just so much more that is addressed. I already mentioned that they really teach the kids to be good public speakers, to be confident, to have confidence in themselves, self-confidence. I think that through the smaller class sizes, that they all develop strong critical thinking. This is so important for everyone. I think that our children develop really strong friendships, and many of the friendships will be lifelong. I think there's a real sense of belonging, whether the students come in junior primary, like Myla and my daughter Felicity and our lifers, or if they come partway through elementary or junior high or senior high, they all have a sense of belonging. And they like to come back. There's always opportunities to come back to see their teachers who care about them so much, as we've all said. And I guess the other thing that I talked about that I think is important is the ability to be a volunteer in your life. I think being a volunteer and contributing to your community, to society, is so important.
Absolutely, I agree. I agree. Thank you.
Mhm.
Those are our questions. I wonder, after our discussion and hearing one another speak and share your insights, is there anything that any one of you feel, there one other thing that you would like an audience to know about Sacred Heart? Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Memory, I think. So my son that started in late elementary, it was my first opportunity of seeing elementary at the end of year. It was like preems for grade 4, 5, 6. And all the grade 6 parents were up on the stage with their Kleenex, and my mother and I were there kind of saying, well, it's grade 6 going into grade 7. Why do they need these Kleenexes? And then my son received an award, and it was announced that he had won this math award. And the whole room erupted in like applause and cheering. And it's just, wow, they're really happy for his success, and his success is the school's success. So my mother said, "Would you like a Kleenex?" But it really was seeing that his success was the school's success, and how happy everyone was. It was a very special emotion. It's a special time, and it's been many, many years since that happened, and I'll never forget it.
Stays with you. Stays with you. Thank you for sharing that. Myla, Ishan, anything else? And you, no pressure, but if I just wonder if there is anything else you wanted to share.
Maybe that the fact, just like emphasizing the fact that Sacred Heart was like the small class sizes were very, very beneficial. And that um, I'm still friends with every single person in my graduating class. There's a couple people that graduated from Sacred Heart that are at Dow with me now, but this summer they've all come back, and it's all been amazing to see everybody, and that just shows me that the impact Sacred Heart has had on maintaining such a tight knit community. And even when I'm here, me and my friends Roman and Steven, we love to go visit Sacred Heart from time to time and say hi to all our old teachers and the old even younger students sometimes, or our siblings. And so yeah, I think Sacred Heart really um, does a great job at making everyone feel welcome and part of a community.
And we like you to keep coming back. Keep visiting.
Yeah.
Myla, anything else from you?
Yeah, I agree. I think being at Sacred Heart for so long, it's just really felt like a home to me. And I know now, thinking about graduation and going and leaving the school, it's definitely just going to be such a change and a really big moment of growth, but also just I feel very prepared. But knowing that I can come back with all of the alumni like events, like it's very comforting. But I think that being at such a strong community, like a school with such a strong community, I feel like I know what I like want to look for in a university, looking either at faith-based universities or just schools that I know have closer communities, because it's just something that's been so special at Sacred Heart. And I know that I would like that moving forward too.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Terrific. Again, I thank you all so much for giving your time, sharing your insights, and telling us a little bit more about your experiences. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope I'll see you all soon. Myla, I'll see you very soon.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all. Have a wonderful
Thank
rest of
you.
your summer, okay?